probando. I should have looked up how to say probando in Welsh.
I don't even know how to say it in English.
I think it's just testing.
Oh, okay.
Although, since apparently we're just doing pre-roll right here, the it's also very common. Anytime there is a mic anywhere in any kind of Puerto Rican event or celebration, there will always be a guy going up to the mic and going un, dos, tres, sí, 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 probando, sí, sí. That's the general one because I guess that hard stop after the C, you're technically saying C. There's a P at the end there. And I guess the
Mm-hmm.
idea is to see how the feedback goes, if the pop filter is properly inserted,
Okay.
I suppose.
Do you ever see an SNL sketch? This is so long ago. The answer is probably no, but it's Tom Hanks as a roadie for like famous bands, and he gets interviewed on Wayne's World, the sketch, not the movie. And his thing is, he says, "Check one, check two, sibilance into the microphones."
No, I have not seen that. You are correct. I have seen, oddly, I do believe I've seen a Tom Hanks SNL episode, but
Uh
I
huh. He
don't
did.
remember that one being it.
Okay.
I also don't remember any sketches. I just remember the vagueness of him being involved somewhere.
He really threw himself into it. He is this dirtbag roadie. He's fully selling it. So
Oh, he's always
very
doing
good.
that. That's Tom Hanks to a T. I mean,
Yes.
that's why we like him. That's why we put up with everything Chet Hanks says.
Meanwhile, Colin Hanks is just quietly being a pretty good actor
Mm-hmm.
around,
Mm-hmm.
around and about.
Yep. Okay. We're just informing the Out of the Park Discord that hey, if you want to watch Puerto Rico versus Wales, because that's definitely what you want to do on a Friday night,
Mm-hmm.
it is available for you to do so. Buenas noches, gente, and let me see if I've got this right. No suelta. We are live. This is, as always, Isidro Montalvo Espinosa, broadcast coordinator for Liga Nacional Puertorriqueña en Vivo. And as you heard, with me is my co host, the redoubtable Luisa. How are you doing?
Good evening. I'm doing great. I'm excited about this game. How are you doing?
I am doing wonderfully. This game is going to be incredible. Estadio
Mm-hmm.
Victor Nieves, the stadium of champions, specifically the 1902 national champions, the Murciélagos de Camuy, plays host today to the first game of the very first Copa Mundial de Pelota. That is the Baseball World Cup. 16 teams facing off against each other to determine the overall champion of baseball for the next 4 years.
Exciting.
Some of these teams are exactly who you would think they would be. Puerto Rico, Cuba, Venezuela, La República Dominicana. Some of them are not. Wales, England, Haiti, and let's see, who else is kind of a weird one to have in here? The entirety of Oceania and East Asia have put together a team called the Neptunes, which I assume those guys all walk into Pharrell music.
I'm trying to remember what hit song the Neptunes had, and I cannot. They were definitely a duo group. Or were they? Am I thinking of.
I only know them
I
as
think they're a band.
producers.
Okay, fair enough.
So yeah, Pharrell Williams and then his friend. The
Secret friend.
the the Andrew Ridgely of the Neptunes, if you will. Except that everybody now knows who Andrew Ridgely was because of all the jokes about it.
Hmm. Yes, that's true. Did you know Pharrell has? Sorry, I got distracted because you said the
No, no,
Neptunes.
let's talk about this.
Did you know Pharrell has
A
a
giant hat.
like a, a fancy exclusive eBay for celebrities called Jupiter?
The guy is just obsessed with the planets, isn't he?
I guess so. This is Jupiter spelled with two O's, so you got great SEO on there.
This is the worst thing I have ever heard.
And I have not looked into it, but as far as I can tell, it's for like exclusive luxury items, etc.
Yeah, this sounds.
And eBay.
I don't remember the name of it. My ages and ages ago, there was something called. It's not Open Sky, I don't think. It had Sky in the name, but it was something like that. A slightly higher rent eBay slash curated goods store. I remember
Mhm.
Tom Colicchio, the chef, was one of the first celebrities that you could follow because what you would do is you would pick your interests, and then based on that, it would tell you these are the curators that we have chosen for you, and you would
Okay.
kind of order. I think I got my first cast iron skillet from there. I'm
Pretty
trying to
good.
remember what else because it was supposed to be that they would partner up with lesser known brands and then you could kind of get things at a slightly cheaper price from there. It
Hmm.
was a kind of more Bika shade. If you're familiar with the site Zulily, my mother has used it a lot to send us uh, silverware and things like that, or not silverware, dishware, and
Okay.
cute stuff like that. Objet d'art, homewares that look interesting. I think she used it to get us our KitchenAid on special.
Oh, nice.
So yes, that sort of thing. Well,
Interesting.
that's good to know. I.
Quick,
Mm-hmm.
quick note. Bad news. I did look up the band The Neptunes because I just could not remember where I knew it from.
Ooh,
That was the band from the cartoon Jabberjaw. That was their name. They were the Neptunes.
that's amazing. You know what? I would hope that out of all of these various iterations of the Neptunes,
Hmm.
the one in the Copa Mundial is the most successful one.
Oh, I hope so.
I don't think they will be, to be clear. They are not that good a team, but they could do okay out of their group. I'm not going to lie to you. Puerto Rico and Wales are in the same group, and if I had been better about paying attention to where the teams were seated, I may
Mhm.
not have put them in the same, pardon me,
Oh,
in the
right.
same quartet. These are incredibly strong teams. I would argue these are possibly the two strongest teams in the tournament, although Mexico also has a claim to being one of the top three. But I think Puerto
Mhm.
Rico, Wales, or Cymru, and Mexico are pretty easily the gold, silver, and bronze here, at least on
Okay.
paper. Obviously, this is baseball. We'll see what happens.
Well, that's the way it goes sometimes, right? Sometimes you get that matchup where two teams that should be both going really far in a championship, they face off against each other right away, and it's all over for one of
Hmm.
them.
That is the way it is. Some things will never change.
Now, these are great teams. We love that.
Hmm.
These are also homelands for both of us, although I'm kind of a fake Welsh person because my
Are
family's
you
not actually
welshing on
Welsh.
being Welsh? Is that what you're telling me?
I am, absolutely, because I was just born there. My family's not really from there.
The panel show guy and person who runs Private Eye, Ian Hislop, is kind of in the same situation. He was born in Wales. He was, I believe, born in the same town as Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Oh, okay.
But his family's not Welsh, and he did not stay in Wales. He just happened to be born there, which is literally the opposite of the Taskmaster host and comedian Greg Davis, whose pregnant mother in labor, well, Greg Davis is also in labor, or at least he was. I don't know, but that's the party. Anyway, his mother was driven over the Welsh border by his dad so that he
Mhm.
would qualify to play for Welsh rugby.
That's very good.
That is the second most dad thing I have ever heard, right behind going to get an oil change while your wife is in labor.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Anyway, Will says hello. Hello, Will. Glad you're getting to hear
I
all of
will.
this scintillating conversation that we're having. Actually, you know what? It is. You know what? I refuse to
Mhm.
apologize for this. This is
Mhm.
amazing. And by the way, most of you don't show up at the beginning of the game. So really, we're just
Yeah.
giving you time to be fashionably late. This is a win-win
How
situation.
will you even know where celebrities sell their hand-me-downs anymore unless you listen? It's
I
impossible.
would
There's
have
no way
some
to know.
comments. I do have some more comments to make about that site that I was on for a while. But unfortunately, they would not make this a family-friendly chat. We just got some very weird emails signed by celebrities. Like, it had a little JPEG of their signature. Not cool. Did not enjoy that. Was very glad when that site went out of business. Says, Will, be honest, you just love to vamp. I do. Also, before we continue, I've been trying to get to this. I've tried to find every possible way to get to this joke over the past 3 minutes, but we keep getting off topic.
Yes, go
Between
on.
the Jupiter and the Neptune thing, I think we just have to admit that Pharrell is this generation's Gustav Holst. Composer of the Planets, Louisa.
Yes, I know that. I was considering it, and I am forced to accept it. You're right.
I would love to hear a Pharrell composed arrangement of Thaxted, the Jupiter one. What's its other name that I cannot remember right now?
Well, I don't know.
No, I don't remember. It has another name when it's used as a hymn, but Oh God Beyond All Praising. That's what it is.
There we go.
Beautiful tune. Easily, that entire suite, I could listen to that
But
for
can you
hours.
dance to it? Because if the answer is no, maybe Pharrell could help.
That's what I'm thinking. I think Pharrell could really take Jupiter and make it, take it from the bringer of the, well, I guess it's still the bringer of joy, really, when you think about it.
You go to Jupiter to get more stupider. We know that.
If you are buying celebrity hand-me-downs, yes, that is what you're doing. Absolutely.
Oh, this is great. We have fun.
Okay, let's get down to the field, shall we?
Yes.
Attendance is actually a little low for what you would imagine is a sellout game. It's the first international baseball match. What are you even doing?
Are you on the field? I cannot see the field.
No, it's taking forever to load because they're in
okay.
different uniforms and everything.
Whoa, they're right in the city.
Oh,
wow.
This is very interesting. Normally, okay, fun fact, there are actual pictures of them in their Copa Mundial uniforms, but they are not being displayed here.
Oh.
I figured I've seen the pictures. You can generate them. It's not that hard. But for whatever reason, just not being displayed here. Although I kind of like the look with all the different jerseys, so you can see where each of them is coming from.
Oh my god, I will be so lost about who is ever doing anything. Uh-oh.
Oh dear. Okay. Well, I would say don't look at the faces. Just look at the uniform.
Also doesn't help.
No? White uniforms are Puerto Rico, black uniforms are Wales?
I'm seeing uniforms of all different colors. Wait, are you saying the portraits and the players?
Yeah, I'm saying don't bother with the portraits.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Just don't look at that. Just look at the names. Red is Puerto Rico, black is going to be Wales, and then look at the uniforms they have in-game. Because otherwise we are both going to lose it.
Yes.
Says, Will, nice cityscape. Where is this game? This game is in Camuy, where the Murciélagos play, in Estadio Victor Nieves, named after one of the unlikely heroes of 19th century baseball. All-time, I believe, still might be the all-time career leader in hits by pitch. I might be wrong about that. I know he was the first person to get to 200 of those, but Out of the Park does not make it easy to figure that out.
Amazing.
Okay, let's see what the weather's like. It's raining. Big surprise there. It is December in Camuy. Temperature is 27 degrees. The wind is blowing out to left. So Jorge Lacayo and Connor Guest are going to have a fun time out there. We are not going to be showing you the out of the town scoreboard very often because, as you can see, it covers another widget, and we don't want to mess with this. It literally crashed the game the one time we tried during a recording. But just so you know, technically simultaneously, not really, but for our purposes, we had to make it happen. The other game that is taking place, we'll check on it routinely, is Cuba is hosting the Soberanos, which are the Latin American regional team. Mateus Balieiro of Brazil is heading up against Ricardo Pinto of Cuba. That should be interesting. We'll let you know how they're doing every couple of innings. Anyway, before we get started with this game, before we get rolling with, again, the first international baseball game in history. Actually, you know what? It's kind of surprising it took this long. Like, the Football Association in England started in, like, 1870 or something, and by 1871, there had been an international rugby match between England and Scotland and an international football match. So, really, what took them so long, honestly?
Too many rules in baseball, that's why.
Yeah, that's the problem. It took him this long to find 9 guys willing to travel to play baseball. Anyway, before we read the starting lineups, have our first pitch, and get to talking maybe a little bit more about these teams, we have many people that make these games possible. One group of them is, of course, our patrons who support us on Ko-Fi. In about, right now, another 45 minutes or so, you'll get an encouragement to join if you haven't already. They make it possible to have some of these players, Vidal Santiago and Benji Valdez, for example, here in this very game, were created by patrons. It may not surprise you to learn that that's why they have well-designed uniforms, unlike everybody else. They also just defray a lot of the costs of running this league, which they're surprisingly high when it comes down to it. The other group of people who help us out are our sponsors, and among those sponsors, there are some truly wonderful people. But even among that group of truly wonderful people, there is one that stands head and shoulders above everybody else because they probably consume their own product. Luisa, who are we talking about?
We're talking about the sponsor that's been with us from the beginning, and now they are helping us sponsor the International Copa Mundial. This is Dr. Gonzalez and his wonderful wood tar liquor. Folks, 70,000 patients have been cured over 15 years with it. Chronic colds, rogue coughs, abundant chest discharges, asthma, bronchitis, and other respiratory ailments all cured. It helps with both consumption and bladder catarrh, which is inflammation. It purifies over-humored blood, and it whets the appetite for fattening. Important. Not to be confused with other Dr. Gonzalez wood tar liquors, except no substitutes. And you know, it's sold in all good pharmacies, especially San Juan's own Farmacia Giametti, at the corner of Calle de San Francisco and Calle de la Cruz.
And I have very recent evidence that there is still a pharmacy there because I just came back from a trip to San Juan and we visited the current pharmacy at the corner of Calle de San Francisco and Calle de la Cruz. It is now called the Farmacia Puerto Rico Drug. There is still a plaque on there describing the history of the pharmacy and using a lot of a font that I believe is called Adventure, which is the font from the Cítricos de las Marías logo.
Nice.
It is a huge pharmacy. It now mostly sells kind of touristy stuff up front, and then it is an actual pharmacy the farther back you get. But it's big. You can easily see why it had food, why there were places for political conversation, how it could become this kind of center of activity. It's also worth noting that it's about 2 doors down from City Hall.
Nice. Prime location.
Exactly. And just in case you also decide to make this pilgrimage, which I was extremely excited to make, they do not have any wood tar liquor products. When I asked the employees, I then had to explain why I was asking. And believe it or not, they were a little weirded out that somebody has been reading the Boletín Mercantil de Puerto Rico from the 19th century and would like to know if those products are still around.
Yeah. You should have said you're a time traveler.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would have gone really well. They then did ask me, or did tell me to go ask ChatGPT, is what
Great.
They said I should do.
You know what? I am against AI in all forms, so I don't care who knows it. But in this case, them telling you, why don't you just go chat GPT, buddy? Oh, I kind of like that.
Yeah, it is pretty good. But thank you for now making me feel that that was an own on me.
It was. Be fair.
Well, yeah, probably. Although I don't know, most people seem to trust that thing way more than you or I do. So
That's true. But now I have that in my pocket. If anyone asks me a question I don't really want to answer, maybe I just tell them to check ChatGPT.
fair enough. All right, let's get moving here. Bienvenides, Chrysokalon, or if you prefer, Chrysokines. And these two teams, I know I've waxed poetic about their strengths, their power, but when we're talking about batting power in particular, we are going to Dreigiau Cymru. The Dragons of Wales are bringing in a deadly lineup, and it is my honor to tell you about them right now. Tonight, playing for the Dragons, leading off and playing shortstop, number 35, current jugador ilustrísimo of the Liga Nacional Puertorriqueña. That's our equivalent for an MVP. Number 35 from the Señores de Ponce, Andre Haddon. Batting second, the designated hitter from the Insolentes de Fajardo, number 23, Anthony King. Batting third and playing right field from the Reyes de Juana Diaz, number 6, Connor Guest, who came in second to Andre Haddon from the rival team, the Señores de Ponce, for Ilustrísimo. I am not bitter about this in any way. Batting fourth and playing second base from the Jinetes de Toa Baja, number 3, Harry Jones, who was Ilustrísimo either in 1904 or 1905. Can't remember which year. Batting fifth and playing first base from the Rebeldes de Moca, number 15, Sebastian Milling. Batting sixth and playing third base from the Ejemplares de Dorado, number 25, Scott Blackmore. Batting seventh and playing right field from the Colmillos de Aguadilla, number 88, Paul Slater. Batting eighth and playing center field from the Eléctricos de Guayanilla, number 35, Ross Simpson. Batting ninth and catching from the Mulos de Aguas Buenas, number 12, Morgan Staff. And now, the starting lineup for your Borinqueños de Puerto Rico. Batting leadoff and playing first base from the Palomas de Sidra, number 21, Antenor Juarez. Batting second and playing center field from the Navegadores de Naguabo, number 30, Vidal Santiago. Batting third and playing second base from the Caciques de Orocovis, number 25, Alban Lopez. Batting fourth and playing right field from the Cítricos de las Marías, number 15, Jose Rodriguez. Batting fifth, the designated hitter from the Reyes de Juana Diaz. God love him. Number 22, Hernando Cabrera. Batting sixth and playing left field from the Tabacaleros de Trinidad, which I believe is the only non-Puerto Rican team represented in either starting lineup. Trinidad is in the Cuban League. Number 18, Jorge Lacayo. Which, if I remember Lacayo correctly, this basically means this man's name translates to George Goon.
That's great. What a great name.
Batting seventh, the shortstop from the Navegadores de Naguabo, number 7, Benigno Valdez.
Woo!
Batting eighth and playing third base from the Esqueletos de Vieques, number 12, Cedro Martin. And batting ninth and catching from the Palomas de Sidra, number 5, Jesus Lucio. Pitching tonight for the Borinqueños from the Cítricos de las Marías, it is number 17, Isidoro Garcia, 25 years old, one of the best pitchers in the league, but not even the best pitcher in his own family. His brother Rafael pitches for Isabela and has been more honored as a pitcher, is what I would say.
Wow. How did this guy manage to score this plum position then?
I would love to know, especially because Rafael is pitching third in this rotation. You would think you'd lead with the brother who's won a Triple Crown, won a couple Excelentísimos, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's got a fastball, changeup, sinker, and cutter. I do think you also have to pay attention to the fact that Isidoro has to compete with, like, the entire Rio Grande rotation, and Rafael doesn't.
Yeah,
when you're in the same league as Carmelo Castillo and Ezequiel Vasquez, you will suffer. It's going to happen. All right, here we go. What do we say? Some baseball tonight. Let's make this happen. Puerto Rico versus Wales. The Copa Mundial starts right now. Camuy, part of the great northern conurbation of Puerto Rico.
You're in the middle of a highway, I noticed.
Almost, yeah. First pitch on the 1-2 count. It's a fly out to right field. Rodriguez has it, a sinker. He runs it down, and it is out number 1. Here comes Anthony King, the Insolente de Fajardo. 1-2 count against him. Swings on that one. It's a liner. Splits the difference between Rodriguez and Santiago in center field, and we are off. Things are already dangerous here. There will be a man on second. After that at-bat, King picks up a double to open the table for Dreigiau. It's Dreigiau. It is so hard to remember to pronounce that as a schwa.
Yeah, I have a lot of trouble remembering what the different letters do, because they don't quite line up to any...
Any?
What's that?
The letters don't quite line up to what?
To any English use of the letters.
Yes, and when you grow up in Spanish, pronouncing E to mean and all the time, it is so hard to remember that this is not any of the sounds you normally associate with the letter.
Yes, true.
Here comes Connor Guest, the current home run leader. He hit 39 taters in the Liga Nacional Puertorriqueña this year, one of the best hitters anywhere in the game. Again, second in the Ilustrísimo, because we just love shortstops. Such a big, huggy bunch. And with a man in scoring position and 1 out, what's he going to do? He takes him to a full count, hits another liner right to the same spot. Second verse, same as the first. And Anthony King says, Diolch, as he comes in screaming. Scoring at home, the Welsh draw first blood here in this tournament. They are ahead 1-0, 2 successive doubles off of Garcia, and they are in business. Garcia, 20 pitches in, already allowing an earned run. This is early trouble. They've so far he has not managed to have a short at bat against any of these hitters.
Wait, isn't this his first time having an at bat against any of these hitters?
Actually, yes. He has only faced guys from Liga Osto, so he would have never pitched against them. But what I mean is more like they've taken him 6, 7, and 7 pitches to retire. So he's already on the edge a little bit in the first inning here.
That's not great.
No, it's not. Harry Jones comes up. Harry, also known as Daddy Longlegs.
Woo!
Comes up on the 1-2 count. Oh, no! It's a wild pitch.
Oh,
Jesus Lucio has to go get it. Can't make a throw. And Guest will be at third now. So with two balls, 2 strikes, a runner on third, and 1 out. What can Garcia do against Jones here? Another full count, followed by a high fly ball into center field. Santiago chasing it down, but Guest should easily score on that sac fly. And that is 2-0 to the Welsh, who for some reason have green batting helmets. I'm not objecting. It's a cool look, but what?
I like it.
Brings up Sebastian Milling, who is playing for the Welsh, even though he's only Welsh on his mother's side. He's from Exeter, so he's actually nicknamed the Exonian Napoleon.
Wow. That's a heck of a nickname.
Sure is. Here he goes. 1-2 count from Garcia. There we go. He strikes out, and the side is finally retired. But not before Wales takes the early lead here in the top of the first against the Borinqueños. Stuns them a little bit there. leading 2-0 after 2 doubles and a wild pitch sacrifice fly combo. Beautiful work from Dreigiau here in the top of the first. How can Los Borinqueños answer in the bottom against? Pitching now for Wales, number 70, Brandon Payne, nicknamed Litterbug.
I wonder why.
I assume it means he throws it all over the zone. Or maybe he has a penchant for throwing the ball away, like wild pitch type stuff.
Yeah. Either way, I admire them not making use of the name Payne. I feel like that's the go-to for a nickname.
Yeah, well, you know, Damon Wayans hasn't been born yet, so... Was it Damon and Major Payne? Do I have the right Wayans?
So.
Yeah,
I think you're right.
All right, here we go. Antenor Juarez coming in. One of the best batting eyes anywhere in the league. Let's see if you'll make use of it against Brandon Payne, who is, like Isidoro Garcia, a lefty.
Everyone's a lefty.
That's right. Command and control guy. Slider, curveball, changeup, sinker, and cutter, a 5-pitch arsenal. He pitched for the Jinetes, I should mention, by the way. Came in halfway through the year. 8-14, 3.17 ERA. You don't care about these numbers, but I'm just letting you know he was a relatively effective pitcher for a guy who came in halfway through the year with a little bit of rust on him. So here we go. He faces Juarez on the 1-1 count. God, I love those numbers on the Welsh uniforms.
Yes, they're very good.
Juarez aboard with a single to short center. Gets down for a base hit, and the Puerto Ricans in business early as Ross Simpson couldn't quite corral that one. Here comes Vidal Santiago, who is currently on the Navegadores, came over on a trade from Aguas Buenas, comes up with a chance to get things rolling. Juarez lit the match. Let's see if Vidal can keep the flame burning. Man on and no outs. 1-0 count. Santiago up the middle. It gets past Haddon into short center. And the Borinqueños have 2 aboard with none out.
Wow.
Quick fit check on everybody. I think we like the red shoes for the Puerto Ricans.
Yes, I think so too.
For the Welsh, black is okay. It's certainly not bad. It fits with the uniform. But I'm interested in seeing if any of them wear a different color.
Me too. The white is terrible and I hate it.
Yeah,
Black
it's not
is
good.
neutral.
It really washes them out.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Alban Lopez coming up next, nicknamed Párroco, the parson, even though I don't believe he's got any link to the priesthood. High contact, high discipline guy, posted an on-base percentage over 400, only 18. Maybe he quit seminary to play baseball?
Well, I feel like at this time, a guy who maybe doesn't swear or doesn't like to drink or goes to church at all, they would nickname him the parson.
Almost.
Right?
That is not only correct, but there is, in fact, there used to be a pitcher for Maunabo named Ted Lewis whose nickname was Parson. And it was apparently because he was religious, but I believe he actually did go on to become a churchman of some description because he was English, I believe.
Nominative determinism.
Exactly. 2 on, none out for Alban Lopez. What's going to happen here? Oh, there's a double steal attempt, and Antenor Juarez and Vidal Santiago successfully move into scoring position, stealing second and third. The Borinqueños making use of those ruedas, as they say. Lopez now with a really good chance to knock in a run, maybe even tie this ball game here in the bottom of the first. Oh, hello. 1-1 count on the butt rock. Short left field, Guest in there, and 1 run will score. Easily, Juarez tags from third, scores on the sac fly, and the Puerto Ricans cut the lead in half. They are behind 2-1 here. Man still on second with only 1 out for Jose Rodriguez.
Tell me about the crowd. Red for Puerto Rico, black for Wales, white is neutral, and there's
Cowards.
like a gray? Yes, true.
Gray could be just the seats,
Okay.
but it would be very funny if white is neutral and then gray is neutral, but you don't want to be there.
Your protest shirt.
Exactly. It also could just be Olivia Dunham from Fringe out there. Anyway, let's see what happens. Man on second with 1 out for Jose Rodriguez, the switch hitter from the Cítricos. Supposed to be the answer to their batting woes, but really that has he's done well for them over the course of the 3 years he's been there, but the Cítricos as a whole, not so much. He goes after this first pitch, knocks it down to first base. Milling has it easily, throws to the pitcher covering first, and Santiago with the tying run makes it to third base, which means, what a moment this would be. It will be Hernando Cabrera getting to take the at-bat that possibly sends him home. Now, you may be wondering why Hernando Cabrera seems to have a lot of gray hairs in his mustache.
I noticed that he is 42 years old, and how on earth is he in this team? I was waiting to ask you.
He is, okay, so, teams had 20 roster spots, right, for this tournament. Mm-hmm. That was usually spent on having 4 starters, 4 relievers, or 3 starters, 5 relievers, and depends on the team. Nobody really cares. But about 8 pitchers.
Okay.
9 starting position players, 8 starting position players plus a designated hitter. And then there were a number of other just guys that you could pick, right?
Okay.
For some teams, they had trouble filling out the roster, and they had to basically go to anybody that was willing to come to Kamui and play. For other teams, what ended up happening is because they have enough, how do I put this? They have enough players active in the league, and their starting lineup is good enough, they chose to honor players with their selections. They chose veterans or guys who played in the 19th century and are still active.
I see.
That sort of thing.
To go to this World Cup, which has never been around before.
Exactly. And Hernando Cabrera is absolutely the guy that you would spend that spot on. He is the only player from the 19th century who is still... He might be the only one who's still playing. I'm actually not sure.
Oh, okay.
But, beyond that, the other interesting thing about him is he might be the only player, if he is not the only player left from the 19th century, he is the only one with any kind of chance to make it to 3,000 hits.
Oh, wow, okay.
He's somewhere in the 2,800s, and he does intend to play next year at 43. He would have to get about 140, 130 hits, which is doable.
Okay.
He would probably have to play, if we're being honest, to give him some slack, he would probably have to play until he's 44. But we'll see how next year goes.
Fair enough.
It's not like the Reyes have a better player to be giving that spot to.
Uh-huh.
I should know.
Yeah, you know a team's in trouble when a good guy on their team might legitimately retire because of age.
Exactly. So here we go. Man on third with 2 outs for Hernando Cabrera. Will he live up to all the hype we've just done for him? Full count. Swings on that one, lifts it to right field. Slater chasing after it, and he's got it. Reels it in. Puerto Rico puts 2 hits together to make a run happen. They trim the lead, but they are not quite done. We're through the first inning. Wales ahead 2-1 against Puerto Rico. Says Will, we're gonna put together some quick, hey, come watch this kind of thing.
Yep.
Will says, Twitch has now served me 4 different sidebar ads, and we aren't even through the first, and each different ad is for Huggies. I don't recall it ever showing this many ads in the past. Yeah, Amazon has been screwing with Twitch in various ways, and certainly encouraging us to possibly move more things onto YouTube or some other platform, but let's be realistic, it's going to be YouTube. So, yeah, there's not... Yeah. I believe that there is some kind of subscription that we can buy on our end that disables ads. We haven't really looked into it because it hadn't been an issue yet, but we'll definitely have to think about it. Thank you for letting us know. After the first inning, honestly, very... Not surprised that the Welsh have already scored. I was prepared for that to happen all the way, right? But...
yeah.
I am a little bit shocked at how much they were able to push Isidoro Garcia.
Yeah.
That really should not have happened.
Yeah, it seemed almost effortless in how fast they just suddenly were up by 2.
Exactly. And that is what their kind of batters will give you. Like I say, I think they are the second strongest team, possibly the third, if their pitching doesn't hold up.
Mm-hmm.
Their bullpen is kind of bad.
Okay.
But honestly, if there's any other team that I would expect to wreck absolute shop, it's them. They've got so many good hitters up the lineup, up and down the lineup. With a couple early doubles and a sacrifice fly.
So we're definitely rooting against one another on this game, I believe. Because of course you would love to see Puerto Rico advance. I would love to see Wales advance.
If it were possible to have if it were somehow possible to have a Puerto Rico versus Wales final, it's not during the current tournament structure. But these are not only possibly my 2 favorite teams here. They are also 2 of my favorite uniforms in the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So, huge fan. Would love to see more of them, of both of them play.
Yep.
We're going to try to give you somehow. I don't know how we're going to do this right now. We'll have to figure it out. I would love to be able to give you to show off every single uniform, both home and road, over the course of this tournament. I don't know how we're going to make that happen, but it would be really, really cool. We spent a lot of time designing these. It was a lot of fun doing it, so we'd really like to see it be a thing.
Fair enough.
Says Will, please do not spend money on your end. I was just noting it as an observation. No, I appreciate that, but it is we're aware that there is some tomfoolery afoot with the with Twitch lately. Amazon has gotten a lot more blatant in its money grabbing. So
yeah.
we're just letting you know that we are keeping an eye on that. We're not gonna let this become a real boondoggle.
I will say, for another data point, I'm just looking at it on my phone because I always have it open just in case it's a problem. And I've only noticed 3 ads before the game started, but that was it.
Oh, interesting. So it might be platform dependent. All right.
Yep.
Let's get back to this game. Isidoro Garcia, 30 pitches in the first. That's rough, buddy. 2 hits, 2 runs, and 1 strikeout. Faces Scott Blackmore. A real surprise for the Ejemplares this year. I had no idea who this guy was, and he just casually hit 304.
Oh, nice.
Here, I think he's about to draw a 4-pitch walk, and so far Isidoro Garcia has not been the pitcher you would hope for Game 1. Here comes Paul Slater for the Colmillos. Another pretty underrated player, I will say. I think he did quite well for Aguadilla in a year that team was not really trying. He was a very bright spot for them. First pitch, sack bunt. That is covered by Garcia. He sends it over to first, and that's out. Number 1 successful sack hit for Blackmore, who moves over to second so that Ross Simpson can come on in. Tougher time against lefties, and he's actually one of the few guys. Let's see. This is very funny. Okay, hang on. Do you want to... This is hilarious. The top 4 hitters in the Welsh lineup are all from Liga Hostos. The bottom 5 are all from Liga Betances.
That's great.
It's like there's a hard stop after 4.
I guess now we actually know which one's better, huh? We finally solved it.
I guess so. I don't know why we're arguing about this as a Liga Hostos fan.
I think the crowd will be booing me for this, but I welcome it.
Interesting. Okay. I don't hate it. Even though Liga Betances has now won the last, 1904, the last 3 championships in a row.
I'm the heel on this podcast.
I love it. I love it.
When I say podcast, I meant broadcast. This is not a podcast. My mistake.
It might as well be. Let's be honest here. We took a while to talk about whether Pharrell was the host of this generation.
That was your angle on it. Mine was that he is a incredibly strange businessman. That's the only thing I have to say about him.
Yep. That's what you can do when you're just constantly doing songs with Snoop Dogg in the mid-2000s. You get to be weird.
Yes, apparently. And ageless, I cannot believe how old that man is.
Exactly. All right. And Simpson has actually faced Garcia. I believe this is, what is this? 2 hits and 12 at-bats off of him. And that's how Garcia strikes him out for out number 2. And here comes Morgan Staff, the catcher for the Mulos de Aguas Buenas, who more than anybody has shaped that pitching staff into the behemoth that it is now. I mean, the Mulos a few years ago were never making the playoffs. They were the number 3 seed this year.
Amazing.
Let's see, first pitch, Staff knocks it to shortstop Valdez. He's got it. Makes the throw across, and he really didn't need to try that hard. Staff is not fast. But the second inning is over for Wales. They still have the lead, but now the Navegadores have, pardon me, geez, the Borinqueños have a chance to respond.
Boo!
You've got people turning around and yelling in the press box. There are other teams, you know. Hay otros equipos.
Yep.
Says,
this is the right stadium for that.
Says Will, is Simpson's portrait in his actual uniform? It is, but this is still very funny. Or does he work in the mall at Hot Dog on a Stick?
I was thinking that too. Terrible uniform. I'm sorry to the Electricos, but that electric yellow, that yellow highlighter yellow plus red, no thank you.
Yeah, it's just always going to look like mustard and ketchup, right?
It's not even that it looks like mustard. It's more like Chicago relish. That's that unnatural, like, fluorescent color.
Oh, interesting. I always thought Chicago relish was quite green.
That's true. I'm getting away from foods into, like, things that are unappetizing. But
Fair.
like
Chicago, yes, agreed.
The soles, they're yellow and red. Those harmonize quite nicely, you see.
Yes. I would argue that the Soles, which they are good uniforms, they are better than the Electricos. Also, the team, I think, is arguably better. But the Soles, I would categorize as a gold. And I think that's the key. I think you're right. This yellow is too cool to go well with red.
Yes, that's what it is.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I do believe somebody from Chicago said they would be watching tonight, so I wanted to make sure that we got that dig in pretty early. They have the Pope, what do they care?
And he's a baseball Pope, so can't do better than that.
Annoying baseball Pope. I cannot believe that. I can't believe Tom Cardy just picked the wrong sport.
I think how quickly you turn on the Pope. You were so excited that he was a baseball Pope at first, and then you're like, oh, this team, though.
And then he started wearing a White Sox cap to, like, greet recently wed couples. Just be a baseball fan, but, like, be dignified about it. Mm-hmm. Anyway, Brandon Payne back in the game. 15 pitches over that first inning, 2 hits, an earned run, and he will face the bottom half of the lineup, starting with Jorge Lacayo, who has been amazing for Trinidad over their perpetual playoff team in Cuba. Here on the 2-0 count from Payne. Not quite past Milling there. It's a bad hit on a sinker, and Milling has it in plenty of time to retire Lacayo at first. Here comes our boy, Benji Valdez, the reason that I said Naves instead of Boris or Borinqueños earlier tonight. It's still light out. That's my excuse. I'm looking out the window right now, and I can still see plenty of sunlight. Benigno Valdez, first year, by the way, that he hasn't been Ilustrísimo since, I believe, 1903. He was still awesome, but unfortunately other shortstops either did better on offense or better on defense than him. That's kind of how it shook out.
Yeah.
Comes up with the bases empty and 1 out. He was still wonderful for the Navegadores during the season. And here on the 2-1 count, rolls it to his opposite number, Haddon, the actual Ilustrísimo by a mile in Ostos for the Señores de Ponce. And he throws to Melling in plenty of time. Who, by the way, the Señores de Ponce, well, we'll get into that in a second. Let's see if Cedro Martin does any better. Another guy that I did not know existed until we started putting together the rosters for this. Very underrated third baseman for the Esqueletos. Great part of their lineup. Big reason they were in the playoffs this year.
Oh, nice.
2 outs and the base is empty. He goes on the 2-1 count. Nice line drive down the right field line, and we're in business. Cedro Martin with a 2-out sliding double. And he's got it. Paul Slater not able to quite get to it in time. Jones has to hit the relay, and that's a curveball that got hit there. Jesus Lucio, the catcher, comes up. Big time, disciplined bat. Jesus Lucio led an underperforming Sidra staff to the third round of the playoffs. They were the number 16 seed. They beat the Navegadores in the first round. We streamed that. Absolutely way overperformed this year, largely thanks to his incredible work behind the plate. I say all of that because I'm sure he's not going to make us proud right now.
Uh-oh.
Full count. Well, he did draw the walk. That's something.
Okay.
2-out walk to turn over the lineup, and here comes Antenor Juarez, who got a base hit last time he was up. I guess this is the point to mention. So you see these black and gold Welsh uniforms with the green gear. Not sure what that's about. I mean, obviously the Welsh flag is red, white, and green. I assume that's where it came from, and they said, we're going to have some green somewhere. Mm-hmm. But the black and gold uniforms, St. David's colors, the St. David flag for Wales is I don't even think it's a more traditional flag. It's just kind of an alternate flag, sometimes used. They chose that because Mexico and Ireland already had green as a main, and there were already Canada, the Dominican Republic, and England's not quite a red, but it's in that range.
Yeah.
It's a rosier color, literally. So with all of that, right, you kind of had to pick what's left over, and nobody had really picked black and gold as a color combination, so it's like, all right, let's go for it. The other reason they chose black and gold is connected, in fact, to the fact that Andre Haddon is on the Señores de Ponce. Black and gold is the Señores' colors, with red as well, but the black and gold is their more known colors. And not only is Andre Haddon currently there is another player who is playing for Wales despite being born in Puerto Rico. His name is Tomás Ramírez. He is actually the namesake of the Ilustrísimo Award. Its full name is the Premio Tomás Ramírez al Jugador Ilustrísimo. Or it is by now, it wasn't then. Because he was the first player to win it in both leagues.
Oh, wow. That's impressive.
Won it twice for the Ejemplares de Dorado in the 1890s, and he won it again for the Señores de Ponce in like 1902 or something.
Wow.
And he's Welsh on his mother's side.
Nice.
He's an Evans. So, in honor of him being this big-time player who really kind of popularized baseball in Wales in a lot of ways, Welsh teams existed already, but this really made the possibility of big-time Welsh players happen. Seeing Tomás Ramírez become this big star brought over a lot of other Welsh players. Connor Guest, Andre Haddon, Scott Blackmore, Harry Jones have all cited him as an inspiration. They decided to use the Ponce color scheme to honor him.
Nice. That's very good.
So there you go. Let's see. 2 on and 2 out. Can Antenor Juarez come through here? 1-2 count. Not. Oh! Blackmore drops the ball. It's an error.
Oh, wow.
He was too distracted by the music.
Yeah, I would be too.
And the bases are loaded with 2 outs for Vidal Santiago from the Naves. Can he come through here as he looks at the electric lighting that was definitely available at the time?
Now, I'm seeing the same thing you're seeing. Those might be candles, to be fair. That's not a very lit up city.
Right, in the skyscrapers that were definitely a thing then.
Maybe it's a grain tower. We don't know.
A grain tower, yes. You know what you want in your grain tower? Candles. That's a good idea. That way it comes out as bread already.
Oh, so good. And if it's corn, popcorn. Hooray.
Hey. All right, here we go. 2-2 count for Santiago. Can he come through? Lifts it into left field. Big fly. Guest has it. And that ends the second inning. The Borinqueños strand the bases loaded. They do not score. The Dragons stay in the lead 2-1 as we head into the third. Exciting. They asked a lot of questions. They did not get any answers there. How will the Welsh make them pay? The top of the lineup faces Isidoro Garcia at 40 pitches. He did quite a bit better in the second inning. Let's see if he can continue that going forward. Andre Haddon heads up. Oh, rain delay.
Well, it certainly is cloudy.
34 minutes on that rain delay, and here goes nothing. Haddon against Garcia. Haddon, another long at bat, a full count, and he draws a walk. That was a 6-pitch at bat, so at least just a regular full count. Says Will, night sure fell quickly. You're not kidding. It's not this dark out in December in Puerto Rico at 5:22. Here comes Anthony King, 1-for-1. 2-1 count. Haddon trying to steal second. He'll be in there easily. That's his first steal of the tournament, and he is in scoring position. The Dragons should be in business after this AB. 2-2 count. He hit a double last time, and Juarez has it on the line drive. What a catch. That's got to be scary. The ball's screaming towards you, but he holds on, and that's out number 1. Man still on second for Connor Guest, though, and that's a dangerous hitter. You never want to be facing this guy at all, really, but men on base is worse. 1-2 count against Guest. He strikes out way out in front of that changeup. Had him completely fooled. Isidoro Garcia collects K number 3. He's on 55 pitches, and that's 2 outs with a man still on second. Here comes Harry Jones. Can Daddy Longlegs improve on his comrades' result? 3-1 count. Boy. Garcia walks his third batter of the game. He's really just letting them do whatever they want with the zone there. And his reward is facing Sebastian Milling, who struck out back in the first inning. Will he do any better here as Garcia steams ahead of 60 pitches? Full count. Yes! He gets him again, and despite the 2 walks, the Dragons do not score. Wales remains in the lead 2-1. As we head into the bottom of the third, Los Borinqueños get a chance to respond with their Heartsmen up against Litterbug Payne. Let's see. Alban Lopez, he knocked in a run via sac fly. He seems a little bit over it, wouldn't you say?
What are you getting at?
His facial expression.
Yeah, he does seem a little bit over it.
All right, let's see if he's over it as far as the baseball is concerned. It would appear so, as he knocks that one to first base, and that's an easy ground out. Milling to Payne once again. Lopez out at first, and the bases remain empty for Jose Rodriguez. He also couldn't get anything going. Let's see if he does any better. Payne, by the way, so far 44 pitches, 2 1/3 innings now. Was 42 pitches an hour ago. 3 hits, an earned run, and a walk. Jose Rodriguez on the 1-1 count. Knocks that one into left field, and Guest has it. He races to the baseball there to prevent the base hit. Well done. Connor Guest, not known for his defense, but he does very well here. With 2 outs and the base is still empty, here comes Hernando Cabrera. He did not have a hit last time. Let's see if he does any better. 2 outs, base is empty. Could extend.
Was he intended to play in this game, or was he just intended to be on the team?
Apparently, they looked around and decided he was a better designated hitter than anything else. If he doesn't play defense, they'll be fine. And before we continue, Hernando Cabrera flies out to short right center field, and that ends the top third of the game. Puerto Rico goes in order. Litterbug Payne has so far held them to 3 hits and a run, plus a walk. They're going to have to really work a lot harder to get to him during the rest of this game. Before we continue with the middle of this game, we need to have another word. Well, normally, we would have a word from another of our sponsors, but this being the Copa Mundial, we figured we'd do things a little bit differently. We went into the Boletín Mercantil archives, and we tried to find any mention of Wales. Let me tell you, Wales harder than you would think it would be. Gales is not that hard, but it turns out that when that's the second and third syllables of the word legales, legal, among other things, suddenly you're in a lot of trouble. And as you will probably notice, there was a certain theme or a certain personage, title perhaps, that kept getting mentioned in a lot of these. I don't know if that's what Louise is going to read, but we'll get into it if she decides to go a different route with it. That's fine. We'll talk about it. I am going to step away from her for a second. Pardon me, Louisa. The booth is yours.
Thank you. Yeah, why not get right into what Isidro has hinted at with the Prince of Wales to visit Paris, what His Highness intends. And this is from the Bulletin Mercantile de Puerto Rico, May 11th, 1900, so just a few years ago. The London Express, in its issue of the 1st of the month, announces that the Prince of Wales, Edward VII, has decided to go to Paris to visit the Exposition Universelle. His Royal British Highness will stay several weeks in the French capital during the upcoming summer. It is generally believed that the Prince of Wales, a passionate fan of the Parisian lifestyle, is traveling less for the purposes of rest and relaxation by visiting the first artistic competition in the world, and more to see if, by his presence in Paris, he can calm the enmity and antipathy, now more intense than ever, that the French people feel towards Great Britain. That's great. I love that. We, having seen into the future, know a little bit more about Edward VII, don't we? But this is a great little news story. Passionate fan of the Parisian lifestyle. Yeah, he sure was.
So, which one did you decide? Oh, there we go. Sorry.
Prince of Wales to visit Paris is the one.
Yeah, that one was pretty good.
Yeah. I was saying, with the benefit of living in the future, we know all about Edward VII and his enjoyment of Paris.
Mm-hmm.
I like that the copy here says His Royal British Highness, so I'm assuming that was in the original
It
copy.
was, yeah.
I like that. I feel like consuming a lot of American and British media, I only ever hear Royal Highness, and it's always assumed to be the British royal family, but of course that doesn't make sense for the rest of the world.
The original was Su Real Alteza Británica. And the Britannica wasn't lowercase in other articles, but in this one, it was in uppercase. So I'm like, so you mean His Royal Britannic Highness? That's what that means. You can't do that. You can't just leave that out.
That's great.
Yeah, I really did love the whole, like, by the way, did you know the French hate the British? Were you aware of this fact?
I know the British hate the French. I rarely hear about the French hating the British.
It is a truism that almost anything the English call a French blank in France is called an English blank.
Yes,
so
I did know that.
I do think there is that. There's obviously some leftover resentment from the 100 Years' War, you know?
Absolutely. It's amazing the expressions that have stayed in the English language from that, the 100 Years' War, and from the War with the Dutch. These things people don't even remember why, but we have these words and these phrases.
Yeah, it is, to me, it is especially funny to see the emphasis on Dutch being regarded as this language, as this. It makes it so obvious because the Dutch were so helpful to English Protestants during the reign of Mary I and so on, and then during the later Stuarts, you know, if they were out of favor, if they were particularly Puritans and so on, the Dutch always helped out. So I do find it very funny that their reward is being used as a synonym for false.
Yes. Yeah, that's pretty good.
All right, we're just going to make sure everybody knows that we are steaming ahead with the third inning. And in a second here, we'll also do a score check on the other game that's currently going. There's only one game today. Tomorrow is when the festivities really get started. I guess the Welsh were just so raring to go that they were like, yeah, we can show up anytime you want. And the others were like, there is such a thing as reasonable travel time?
Nah.
And the answer is that game is a lot further along. They are in the 7th inning, and they are tied 1-1.
Ooh, that's rough.
Ricardo Pinto has allowed 1 run, a walk, and a strikeout. Look at that beautiful Cuba hat. That's what I'm talking about right there.
Yeah, it's very good. Is that a star?
Yes. Yeah, the star from the Cuban flag.
Nice.
And then Marcos Frias, who for some reason is not in his tournament uniform. Interesting. Is at bat. He was in the Venezuelan leagues, but he's from Argentina, I should say. All right, here we go. Top of the 4th, Isidoro Garcia, 66 pitches over 3 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. Faces Blackmore, Slater, and Simpson. Blackmore last time drew a walk. Garcia here against him in the 4th on the 2-1 count. Bangs it to Valdez. Valdez plenty of time to throw over to first, and that's out number 1. A little bit of a shorter at bat. Garcia so far in the even innings is doing better. Slater comes up next. He had that sack hit last time. Let's see what he does with no one aboard. And that is gonna land. It's a single. Paul Slater is on base. And I guess we have our answer as to what the gold shoes look like. What do you think?
I think I prefer red, but I do like that gold. It's a very leg lengthening look, which is always good. Magazines will tell you.
Yeah, that's why those dudes were getting that surgery where they break your bones to stretch your legs out.
And they could have just been wearing the same color shoes and socks. That's
all. Exactly. Why don't they ever think of that?
Mm-hmm.
Man on first with 1 out for Ross Simpson. Was struck out last time, this time on the 0-1 count. That is a tailor-made double play. Lopez throws to short. Benji then throws to first. And the Dreigiau get nothing on the 1 hit they managed. Let's watch that again because it was one of the better defensive plays we've seen so far. Nicely done. Textbook stuff to retire the side there. Safe Isidoro. What are you talking about? It is 5:43.
How is it possible that it's gotten darker? I thought we were into the nighttime.
Why does the skyline look like it's in a comic book now? Like
backlit
Spider-Man is about to come out swinging.
Clearly there's like huge lamps being lit on a beach somewhere that are backlighting all these buildings.
Exactly, yes. Yeah, they're burning the last of the Spanish ships left over from 1871.
Makes a beautiful backdrop.
It sure would. Burning colonialism. I mean, what more could you ask for? Lacayo, Valdez, and Martin will face Litterbug Payne, who's threw 3 innings on just 50 pitches, 3 hits, an earned run, and a walk. Lacayo 0 for 1 on the day, and doesn't look like he'll do a whole lot better here. Or maybe... Nope, not quite. 2-strike pitch. He goes after it, and Slater ends up catching it on the fly. A sinker down under the zone. Here comes Benji Valdez. He's 0 for 1 as well. Can he improve on that result? 2-ball count. Cracks it hard. It goes to second base. And wow, nicely done. Jones with a diving catch is able to throw over to first. Great play from Daddy Longlegs there. Speaking of leg lengthening.
Yeah, really.
Normally, 9 times out of 10, that play goes wrong. I'm actually very impressed. So with 2 outs and the bases remaining empty, here comes Cedro Martin. He's 1 for 1. Ooh, he might extend this. He hit a double last time, and here he draws a 4-pitch walk from Brandon Payne there. His second walk of the game. And up comes catcher Jesus Lucio, who himself drew a walk back in the 2nd inning. 2 outs, man on first. 3-1 count. Knocks it, line out to Haddon. And that will retire the side. We're through 4. Like it's been since the 1st inning. The Welsh remain ahead 2-1.
I really thought we were going to see all kinds of scoring in this game.
Same. I don't know what's going on, really. Maybe, well, it might start to happen now. The pitchers are going to start seeing the lineup for the third time, and that's what might do it. Morgan Staff, Andre Haddon, and Anthony King will face Isidoro Garcia. 75 pitches over 4 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. His box score has all kinds of numbers on it. Staff, however, is 0 for 1 and has 4 hits out of 24 ABs against Garcia. Leading off the 5th here, the catcher. And that is a line drive into center field. Vidal Santiago runs exactly the wrong route on that one. And it'll be down for extra bases. Morgan Staff with a leadoff double. And the Dragons are in business. Morgan Staff with a 2-base hit puts them into scoring position early here in the top of the 5th. Isidoro Garcia got to buckle down and stay on task here against the top of the Welsh lineup, starting with Haddon, who's 0 for 1 on the day. 0-1 count. Hits it to Lopez. Lopez throws to first, successful out, but he moves Staff over to third. This game could be 3-1 in the blink of an eye. If you're Isidoro Garcia, this is the guy you should be worried about. Anthony King, lefty, much worse against fellow southpaws, so let's see if Garcia can stop him here, is the question. Oh, this is cool. You see the... I know numbers are sometimes a little bit scary for you, but I'm going to try to guide you through them here. You see how these stats are clearly just for the tournament, because these guys just played a full season.
Okay.
What's kind of amazing is they have splits, but only for the tournament. So you can see against lefties, on the road, with guys in scoring position, but it's not the ones they had during the season. It's only the ones they've had during this tournament, because Garcia has had 7 at-bats in scoring position, has allowed 1 hit and a walk, struck out 3.
So they're building a stat portfolio for this one game/set of games of the tournament?
Yeah, I guess because it counts as a separate league, basically.
Okay. It's very interesting.
It's fair enough, but yeah, I didn't realize it would do that. This is our first time ever actually paying attention to this kind of thing, so. All right, man on third and 1 out. King hits that. Oh, it's a wild pitch! Lucio has to go chase it down. Staff scores, and it is indeed 3-1 in the blink of an eye, as Isidoro Garcia's changeup gets away from his catcher, and before you can say amen, Staff is in there. The Dreigiau lead by 2 runs after that, and we head on to the rest of this AB. We're not done yet. Anthony King still 1 for 2. Garcia now got nobody but himself to blame, as he gives up his 4th walk of the game. Forgettable performance from him, especially considering he had like a month where he wasn't pitching. The Citricos didn't last that long in the playoffs. Connor Guest comes up. He's 1 for 2 on the day. Man on first, 1 out. Oh! He's been called for a balk.
Oh, really?
I guess he must have dropped the ball, or maybe he didn't come set before he threw the ball. So that will advance King to second, and he's in real trouble now. This might be the big blowout you were waiting for.
Oh, man, I hope so.
Full count to Guest. Hits that one high into center field. Santiago chases it down. He's got it. King does not advance. Decides not to test Barbeiro's arm. He doesn't want to be cut down, you might say. And here comes Harry Jones to try and make Garcia's life worse. He takes him to a full count, hits it to Valdez at shortstop, and they somehow manage to get out of that without any worse damage. Nonetheless, Cymru comes up with a run on that one. They add to their lead. Their score is now 3-1. Those Borinqueños better get their asses in gear if they want to salvage this game against Brandon Payne, who is just having his way with them. 4 innings, 65 pitches, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, and no strikeouts. Seems like by not going for that, he's actually giving himself a lot of room to work. He faces Antenor Juarez, who is 1 for 2. This is the moment. They've got to make this count. Last time Juarez reached on error. This time, he gets it over the second baseman's head. Jones can't quite manage it. It's a full count base hit. A 6-pitch at bat, ending in a sinker. Hit high over Harry Jones. He's daddy long legs, but I guess he's not daddy long arms.
That's right.
Here comes Vidal Santiago, who's 1 for 2. He takes him to a full count. He flew out to left last time. And he draws a walk. This could get interesting. Tying run is on first with no outs for Alban Lopez, who is 0 for 1 plus a sac fly. Let's see if they tried. Last time he came up, they tried the gambit where they double steal and then bring in a run on the sac fly. Let's see if they try that again, shall we? 2-2 count. Swung on, hit to second base, back to first. It's a double play from the Welsh. And they turn to beautiful work there.
Here we go now.
This is a replay. Why is there different music?
Oh, that's great. We've slipped into the multiverse.
Apparently, yes. Antenor Juarez makes it to third, and it's up now to Jose Rodriguez, who's over 2 on the day, to try and get him in. Man on third with 2 outs. What is with all the music cues all of a sudden? Rodriguez over Haddon, and he flies out. Wales remains ahead. Puerto Rico gets a hit, and that's it. Plus a walk, actually, but they're unable to make use of any of it. The litter bug is just trashing their lineup today. Get it? Because litter bug and trash. Do you
yes.
understand the relationship there between the words?
It's funny, you made me reflect on the fact that I don't consider littering and trash to be the same thing.
Oh, interesting.
It's strange. Because I should, but I don't.
Huh.
I think of litter as like little pieces of paper, I guess.
Okay.
This is weird. It's weird that I have an idea of what litter is, huh?
I thought you were going to say that litter is garbage dropped where garbage shouldn't be. I thought it was going to be location dependent.
I mean, that's true, but when I imagine in my mind, what is litter? It's little pieces of paper. That doesn't make any sense.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you may have something there, because I'm imagining, like plastic bottles on a beach kind of thing.
See, that makes sense. Yeah.
Cigarette out of a car.
That's normal and reasonable, I would say. Well, this is making me this is making me want to talk about like litter versus clutter, that sort of thing. I suppose.
Hey,
litter versus ticker tape. Yes.
Here's hey, C. Seiler, he's in, he's waved. Maybe now the Borinqueños' luck will turn around as you join us. Kraiso Kalon, bienvenido. And the Welsh, Dreigiau, are ahead 3-1 as we're in the top of the 6th. It'll be Milling, Blackmore, and Slater against Isidoro Garcia. I gotta tell you, after I do love calling our international games and everything, I cannot lie. If you're already speaking English during the rest of the stream, getting to say the names Milling, Blackmore, and Slater in quick order is refreshing. Says C. Seiler, did I miss the ads? No, you did not. We will be reading them again at the bottom of this inning. And who knows, depending on how the viewership count goes, we might lose our minds and read another one after like the 8th or something. All right, here goes nothing. Milling against Garcia. Milling struck out both times so far today. Here he hits the ball, grounder roller against Valdez, and that is out number 1. Valdez to Juarez. See, if I gotta tell you, if I'm Benji Valdez, I would be so petty against the guy whose team eliminated mine in the playoffs. He's a better man than I am, because I would be like purposefully throwing the ball 3 feet over his head.
See, your coach would tell you, though, you need to concentrate. You need to not worry about that and just play the game in front of you.
He absolutely would. He would say, give 110%, good team, great team, execute. Yeah. Scott, yeah, your coach is Asamataz Buckshank, Stanford University in this one.
Yeah, there we go. He's turning into a robot a little bit by the end.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Scott Blackmore, 0 for 1 on the day. He's got to walk as well. On the 1-1 count, chops it to third base. That's an easy one to Martin. Throws to first, Blackmore out. And that's out number 2. Here comes Paul Slater, 1 for 1 on the day, plus a sack bunt. Was Slater the one who scored on that wild pitch? I don't remember. What is?
I don't remember either.
He grabs it and bobbles it. That's an error, the first of the game by the Borinqueños, surprisingly. And that will bring up Ross Simpson. It says C. Seiler was in Cymru in 1999. Am old. Okay, I'm not gonna improve how you feel about that by telling you this, but in 1999 was when I first learned that Wales was called that, because I was reading Lloyd Alexander's The Book of Three. The first book of the Chronicles of Prydain, which became an obsession for me because I only had the first book. Later, when I was about 14, my parents bought me the entire series, and I read them all, loved them. They're a retelling of Welsh stories, but put into a kind of, I guess, a grittier context in a lot of ways, and a American Christian context in a lot of ways, I would say.
I have never even heard of them.
They're quite good. I really, really enjoyed them. They taught me a lot, especially the later books get really into what it means to be a good man.
Okay.
In a very explicit way that no other fantasy I read at that age was bothered about doing.
Okay.
I really enjoyed them. I've read them. I've read them to my wife doing voices and everything because they are not that complicated. But there's a lot of great characters in there. There's a bard named Flother Flam who is actually a king, but he doesn't want to be a king, so he just wants to go out barding all the time. Which I think was that medieval Eddie Murphy song.
Yes, that's what your lady likes to do.
Yes, mine lady likes to. Yes, my lady. She.
Oh, we need to write the song. Don't.
Yep. No, we got to stop this. Anyway, I will be very surprised if Hildegard von Blingen, I think is what that person goes by, has not already written this.
Her. I love her. Yes.
Yeah, the Pink Pony Inn is incredible. Mm-hmm. I know those lyrics better than the original right now. But also, in all seriousness, his whole thing, well, it's not serious, but you get my point. His whole thing is that he constantly exaggerates because he's a bard and the king. And every time he does, one of his harp strings breaks. Mm-hmm. And he has to fix it. So he'll be mid-conversation saying, and I did this, but... And
is this a magical harp, or
he does eventually get one string that doesn't break, no matter how many lies he tells.
Oh, that's pretty good.
He does eventually get that, but yes, I would say especially, I don't know if anybody listening to this right now has a child in their mid-teens or anything, but yes, these books. I'm gonna say it. I mean, I did read Harry Potter. I was in the right age for that before J.K. Rowling became a monster. And I would put these as the books that had the greatest influence on me as a person. I would put them up with his Dark Materials. That was the other trilogy that really mattered, but Philip Pullman has also kind of gone down the wrong path since.
Yeah,
I think Lloyd Alexander died long ago enough that maybe I don't have to worry about that right now. I believe that to be the case. I'm not sure. But yeah. Wow.
It's funny because I read a similar series written in, I want to say, the 60s or the 70s, about Wales and myths being real, fantasy, and a boy who finds out he's related to whatever, and it was also a trilogy, and the only book I can remember was The Green Man, was the name of one of them. Huh. But, very similar thing. Boy comes to Wales, finds out he's connected to Welsh stuff, learns more about fantasy that's myths that are real, and yeah, very similar in that way.
Yeah. That began my lifelong obsession with Wales, which then expanded to all the Celtic nations. So, that one book that I read all the way back in 5th grade has shaped a huge portion of my personality and everything.
Nice.
So with 2 outs and a man on first, Ross Simpson, the man who works at Hot Dog on a Stick, comes up to bat against Isidoro Garcia. I wanted to make sure C. Seiler heard that joke. That was from Will, by the way. It was not original to us, because I don't think he was here for that one. I also don't think we get Hot Dog on a Stick around here. Ross Simpson, talk about a hot dog. He puts it through the right side gap, pardon me. Got flipped around a little bit there, turned upside down, you might say, and Slater makes it to second base. 2 on and 2 out for Morgan Staff, who's already proven capable of hitting a double in this game. He's the one who scored on the wild pitch.
Okay.
He takes Garcia to a full count and gets struck out for his trouble. A little bit of revenge there for Isidoro Garcia. And the Dreigiau end up going scoreless here in the top of the 6th. Los Borinqueños get a chance to respond, and they need to in the worst way. I'm actually shocked. For the record, I am not managing either team here. They are making all of their own decisions. I am shocked they are not going to the bench at this point because, frankly, they have a pretty good one. Fulco Baca is their...
weird. Mm-hmm. It's weird they're not even just letting guys play just to be able to play in this game, you know?
Yeah, granted, one of their bench guys is their backup catcher. You don't want to get them injured. You understand that, but then you've got Nathaniel Soto. He would certainly be useful if you got guys on base. He'd be a good pinch runner. He's still fast as hell, even though he's also 42. And Noé Barragan, who is 40, could also be decent on the base paths or maybe kind of give you a good late inning at bat if you needed to. By the way, while we're talking about honorees, I should also mention that this bullpen features 41-year-old Neron Jimenez, one of the greatest pitchers of the 19th century, and I believe, I could be wrong about this, I believe he is the only pitcher to have thrown a no-hitter in the 19th and the 20th centuries.
Oh, wow. That's a good distinction.
Yeah, he was just coming into the Ingenieros de Rincon rotation when Victor Nieves was retiring. I think they were only together for the 1889 season. And really, Victor Nieves kind of handed off the team to him. That was kind of the Anthony Edwards to Noah Wiley transition, if you will, of the Ingenieros de Rincon. Exactly. Okay. See, the thing is, in my head, I immediately started trying to pun that even more, and then I just came up with ringtone, and then it was over. That was bad. All right, bottom of the 6th. Brandon Payne will face Hernando Cabrera, 42-year-old Hernando Cabrera. God, I'm so happy for him that he's getting this chance. Jorge Lacayo and Benji Valdez. Here comes Cabrera. Ooh, first pitch swinging, huh? What's he going to do here? He hasn't had a hit, but he does now! Long shot into right field. Paul Slater can't get to that one, and that's a base hit. Hernando Cabrera leads it off. Jorge Lacayo comes up. He's 0 for 2. Can he do any better? First pitch again. Cabrera going for second. Did a 42-year-old man just steal a base in the Copa Mundial?
Did he?
How is he so fast?
That's amazing.
He is a 94 in speed.
That's incredible.
What kind of...
That's why he's managed to stay around all this time.
I guess so. What kind of 1900 steroids is this man taking? Is he just drinking concentrated wood tar liquor on the sidelines? What is happening?
Yep, that'll do it.
And here we go. Man on second with no outs for Jorge Lacayo. Very next pitch. Lacayo up the middle. Hernando Cabrera to third. Will he try and score? That's a good question. Looks like no. We're going to stay with the runners on the corners. Conservative base running from Los Borinqueños. If you watched Game 4 of the Campeonato Nacional Puerto Riqueño, available now on YouTube, you will know why they held him up at third. Just trust us on this. Just watch. Here comes Benji Valdez to try and make this day interesting for Brandon Payne. He's over 2 on the day, but so was Jorge Lacayo, and he just did that. So let's see what happens. Another first pitch. Lacayo going for second, and he's in successfully. His first steal of the tournament, and we're in business. 2 guys in scoring position. If Benji Valdez puts this one into right center, I am going to lose my damn mind.
Yep.
To first base, they don't. Oh! Did he make it? Staff tries to tag, and he is safe on the fielder's choice. Puerto Rico cuts the lead down to 1. Benji Valdez with the ground out, but Milling chooses to throw home and can't even make that happen. So runners stay on the corners with no outs, and the tying run and go-ahead run both on base now. Says C. Seiler, I do like the Columbia blue socks. Do you think this is the time to get into shades of blue? Should we talk about it?
Yes.
All right, awesome. I'm glad you agree. See, you were right. This is a podcast. We're in the middle of the most exciting part of the game so far, and we're going to talk about shades of blue for a bit. Obviously, yes, you are probably very familiar with the fact that the Puerto Rican flag, in case you don't know what it looks like, it's up here, right by where it says PUR, because Puerto Rico also moonlights as a water filter company, is a rectangle, red, white, red, and then it's got that triangle of blue with the stars right to the side. So, here's the thing. That shade of blue, that mid shade of blue, by which I don't mean that blue isn't in and of itself mid. It's actually quite pretty.
Don't you, though?
What? Well, I mean it's in the middle between two other possibilities. And actually, I would say this shade of blue in current Puerto Rican political discourse, but discord is probably more appropriate, is a pro-statehood shade of blue.
Interesting. Okay.
It's towards the Navy side. A neutral Puerto Rican flag, politically speaking, is a royal or pure blue right now. Not a whole lot of darkness to it. The sky blue color...
Hold on, real quick. I would call this royal blue. So what color?
Okay, so I think I'm imagining a brighter blue then.
Okay.
We both sell threadless shirts. You know the royal blue shirt that they have?
Because I only look at the women's shirts.
Oh, interesting. But that one's available in the unisex ones. Like
I only look at the ones that I want to wear. Just never the unisex ones, because those do not fit women.
Huh. Okay, I do think a few of them do have this blue.
Okay.
But it is kind of a brighter blue. I only really know it on the web, where it's not like 255 in blue and then 0 on the other two, but it's damn close, is what I would say.
Okay.
And then sky blue these days is considered a pro-independence flag. Now here's the thing, this is where it gets interesting, because depending on who you ask, the original flag, as sewn by Mariana Bracetti during the Lares uprising, the Grito de Lares, may have been a paler blue that would look more like a sky blue, but was probably just faded more than anything. It's certainly faded now. Or it may have been a brighter blue that faded to that color. So, in the end, those have meaning now, but only because of the way that discourse has been shaped. Originally, there really was no difference. But it's just gotten to mean that. I will also point out, I can't believe we're making another papal reference, but in the Vatican, when the Fumata Bianca came out, the smoke, the bells of St. Peter rang and everything, the Associated Press camera feed, which is what I was watching, for whatever reason, they gave tons of camera time right down the middle of the crowd. They would have little cuts to Franciscan friars on their phones. That's all they know how to do other than eat hot chip and lie. There were all of the other Latin American contingents were right next to each other. So like Colombia, Venezuela, Ecuador would all be near each other. You'd see these sisters. But right down the middle of the crowd, in the exact middle, was a giant sky blue Puerto Rican flag. Apparently it was brought by a Puerto Rican deacon. And getting to see that flag there at the Vatican in St. Peter's Square with the correct shade of blue was a dream come true. And I'll wrap this up by saying that in the universe of the Liga Nacional Puertorriqueña, the exact shade of blue the flag should be was under discussion. Oh, and by the way, sorry, I want to address something that C. Seiler said. He said it was he said, I just assumed it was a flip of Cuba. That is true in this universe. In the LMP, it kind of was... It also was true, but it was a post-1901 thing. Originally, the Puerto Rican flag looked a lot more like the flag of... Or the uprising flag. The flag of the Insular Republic, which is the 19th century Puerto Rican government, independent, would be what we now know as the flag of Lares, the town where the uprising began. They would end up adopting that flag as their own so that it was not lost. After the war with the United States and freeing each other, Puerto Rico and Cuba adopt these flip flags in the LNP verse to reify a saying, a poem by Lola Rodriguez de Tio, who also wrote the lyrics to the Puerto Rican national anthem, La Borinqueña, the original lyrics, the ones that have been changed and suppressed in our reality. Puerto Rico y Cuba son de un pájaro las dos alas. Puerto Rico and Cuba are of one bird, the two wings. Mm-hmm. So, but the point is, the exact shade of blue that should be used was a discussion in the Constitutional Assembly because Mariana Brachetti was a delegate and she could kind of testify in the LMP verse, this is a shade of blue I used and this is what I intended and so on. She could say that, but apparently they all kind of talked over her because, she's a woman. And so it became famous to say that discutir azules, to discuss shades of blue, is LNP verse Puerto Rican Spanish for talking crap. Not saying anything useful.
Nice.
All right, let's get back to this game. We got runners on the corners with no outs. Let's see if all that talking cooled down the Puerto Rican hitters. Here comes Cedro Martin, who's 1-for-1 plus a walk. 0-1 count. Lifts it into left field. Connor Guest chasing it down. He's got it. Are they going to try and score him? They will not. Great throw there by Guest, who's actually been doing really well in left field. Maybe they should switch him over there if the Reyes could make an intelligent decision. The Reyes are my team. I'm allowed to say that. Y'all are not. So here comes
they're
his...
like family to you. They're like family to you.
They sure are. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you should see how I talk about a lot of my family. Jesus Lucio comes up next. He's 0-for-1. Can he punch it through? There's another steal attempt. Valdez gets his first steal. Benji in second and third. We've got men in scoring position. Lucio, gotta hit it to right field if you want to tie this game. Full count for him. That is exactly what the doctor didn't order. Jesus Lucio flies out into foul territory. And despite this, Brandon Payne might actually get out of this. Here comes Antenor Juarez. He's already got 2 hits on the day. Can he make it happen here? Full count. Same music sting. He can! Launches it into right field. This game will be tied. It may even be... And it is Lacayo Valdez score with her wheels all the way from second and third. It's a 2-run single by Antenor Juarez. Los Borinqueños take the lead over the Dreigiau here in the bottom of the 6th. It is 4-3 Puerto Rico.
Incredible. I did not expect that.
As the national anthem says, Despierta Borinqueño, que han dado la señal. Man still on second with 2 outs for Vidal Santiago. He's 1-for-2 on the day. Can he keep the train rolling? He drew a walk last time here on the 0-1 count. Launches that into right field. Paul Slater chasing it. He's got it. And he retires the side 1 batter too late. Now, the Puerto Ricans got to focus on holding this lead. They've got a tired Isidoro Garcia on the mound. They've got the top of the Welsh lineup, which has proven very tough for him to retire coming up. This game, I want to make this extremely clear, is not over for either team. But before we continue and see what's what, we're going to have another word from another of our wonderful sponsors. Or, again, sorry, this time they are not ads. We are simply looking at when Wales was mentioned in Puerto Rican newspapers. La Gaceta de Puerto Rico, Boletín Mercantil. I don't think I found anything from El Mundo that I used. Fun fact, my mother actually used to work for El Mundo back in the day.
Oh, wow.
But those two, whenever they mentioned Gales in any way, we immediately sprang onto that and translated it. All right, Louisa, I'm going to step away. The booth is yours.
Thank you. So this isn't quite an ad. This isn't even quite a piece of trivia. I'm just gonna read this extemporaneous. Varieties. Tobacco. This is from the Gaceta de Puerto Rico, September 13th, 1838. Smoking is a more recent custom than taking snuff, but today is more common throughout all of Europe. In England, it was prevalent in the middle of the previous century, but during the long reign of George III, became considerably unpopular both by the royal example as well as due to the decided aversion of the English to tobacco smoke. However, it has once again gained terrain, although it has not yet penetrated into the bars, pubs, clubs, or even cafes of a certain category. The lower classes in England prefer pipes for their smoking, and the same is true in Wales and Ireland, where even women walk the streets pipe in mouth. I like that. That's quite damning evidence of strange behavior abroad, isn't it? In the pages of, I guess, at Puerto Rico. I'll have to ask Dro when he gets back if they grow tobacco in Puerto Rico, because I do not know that. I know it grows up here, where I live, in the northeast of the United States, but I don't know if it grows down there, or if they were exporting it to England at the time. But I also told Isidro that something that's part of the sort of traditional garb, when you think about, like, traditional clothes for for someone to wear, like, in a parade or whatever, the traditional Welsh outfit sometimes included a clay pipe, which is a lot like the one Gandalf used in Lord of the Rings, or that you would see, the founding fathers use in anything about the colonial era of the United States. Which is pretty fascinating.
I kind of forgot my phone was in my pocket there, and that's where I need to go if I want to find out what y'all were talking about.
We're talking about the varieties of tobacco.
Tobacco. Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you,
Hit me with
did
it.
did Puerto Rico grow tobacco for export, or is that something that was more, the United States?
I would say as far as I know, it was. Sorry, this is absolutely not relevant to anything. It's just something I saw when I was sorry, I was running to Blue Sky to post about the game, and one of our patrons, funnily enough, the person who created Oswaldo Latenci, who by the way is playing for the Soberanos, says, "Are you a driver who would like to drive across the Roberto Clemente Bridge? Not tonight, baby. The Pirates have a home game. Shut roads down." Just
Okay.
very, just interesting. All right, that's cool. Anyway, to answer your question, I believe, if I am correct in my export history, I think there were attempts to raise tobacco in Puerto Rico, but that was more of a Cuba thing.
Sorry, more of a what? Your audio cuts out an awful lot of the end of your sentences for me. I don't know if it does for everybody.
The tobacco they did attempt to grow it in Puerto Rico, but I believe it was more of a Cuba thing.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, hang on. We got to let everybody know that Antenor Juarez showed up big for his ball club here. Well, his international ball club, anyway. Somehow he returned. Yeah, did we talk about how weird it was that somebody just decided to write a Wikipedia page about smoking for a newspaper in 1838?
I kind of like the tone of it, which is like, look at what these weird people do in other countries. I feel like of the time, the mid 1800s, that was a common theme, and you often see it being used against people in other places of the world. You don't often see it being used against the English, Irish, and Welsh.
Real question is, do you see it? Do you only not see it being used against the English, Irish? Well, the English will grant you. How often do you see it being used against the Irish and Welsh by the English? I guess is where I'm going with this.
That's true, but they tend to get into the minutiae and not like, look what these crazy people do just walking around in the streets. Whereas you certainly would see that from the English to other places in the world. But here we see it against the English, the lower classes in England and Wales and Ireland.
Fun fact, by the way, it is very hard for me to remember that the official name of the country is Great Britain, because in Spanish, you just as often just hear Inglaterra, even when you're talking about the entire United Kingdom.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it makes sense.
Top of the 7th, Isidoro Garcia, well over 100 pitches, 5 hits, 3 runs, 4 walks, and 5 strikeouts. Very forgettable performance for him, and he gets to face the top of the lineup for his troubles. Haddon is up. He's over 2 on the day. He's drawn a walk. Let's see if Garcia can get him out here. Ground out to Valdez. He's got it. Throws overhand. See, this is a perfect example. Garcia so far, and I'm going to say this now before he disappoints me, to be clear. Garcia, over the course of this game, has shifted his approach. Instead of going for the strikeout every time against every batter, which is what he normally does, he's trying to get soft contact. He's trying to get them to get themselves out instead of trying to get them out by overpowering them. So here comes Anthony King. He's 1 for 2, presented some trouble a little while ago, and here he grounds out to Juarez, who has no trouble retiring him for out number 2. Next up, it's Connor Guest. Still dangerous. Let's see what's going to happen with him in the top of the 7th. 1-2 count. Guest hits that one hard, but it's right back to Valdez. And look at that. 3 ground outs, and it's a... Oh! Nope. They did get him for a second. Guest apparently did not think he was out. He had some words with the umpire. Insisted that the throw had not beaten him. So anyway, the Borinqueños do remain in the lead after that one. Guest maybe has worked the ump a little bit for future meetings. But... yeah, 3 groundouts for a clean inning. Who'd have thunk it? Literally every other pitcher. There's like 4 guys who depend on the strikeout to make a living. For everybody else, you got to use the groundout. That's your main weapon in 1906. Here comes Alban Lopez. He's over 2 with a ribby. The 3, 4, and 5 hitters will face Brandon Payne. He's also at over 100 pitches, but he's doing quite well. Still cruising. 3 walks, 4 runs, 7 hits. Lopez, of course, had that double play last time. Here he draws a leadoff walk. Puerto Rico has a base runner, an insurance run up there. Up comes Jose Rodriguez. He's over 3. 2-0 count. Alban Lopez stealing. Is that what a priest would do? Not very parochial of him, I would say.
God helps those who help themselves.
Thank you, Benjamin Franklin. With a man on second and no outs. 3-1 count, and Jose Rodriguez pops up. Bad day for him. He hasn't managed to get anything going here. Did you see that? Did you see the guy behind him jump up?
Huh.
Let's see if that happens again. Hang on. So he pops up. Okay, cool. Big can of corn, as we all know. Harry Jones runs up there. He is nowhere near the ball.
He got excited.
Yeah, exactly. He kind of Mr. Bean'd it. I just had... Oh, by the way, Benjamin Franklin, obviously famous Pennsylvanian. Another famous Pennsylvanian, I want to say. Lloyd Alexander, author of the Prydain Chronicles that I was talking about earlier. Well, he would be a famous Pennsylvanian, but none of you have ever heard of him, so, you know.
Yes.
It is what it is. Hernando Cabrera comes up next. He's 1 for 3. He had a big hit last time he came up. Can he repeat the feat here? Man on second, 1-0. Hits that one hard to center field. Oh, my Lord. Hernando Cabrera with an extra base hit here in the bottom of the 7th. Scores the insurance run. Los Borinqueños lead it 5-3. An RBI double from Hernando Cabrera, and this is one 42-year-old who is not going into the sunset quietly. Look at that. Too bad these hits don't count towards those 3,000. That would be incredible.
Yeah, that would be good.
Man still on second with one out for Jorge Lacayo, who's 1 for 3. This might be... I mean, they're clearly starting to get to Payne. Let's see how long Wales lets him get in trouble. Ooh. Lacayo gets struck out. It's Payne's first strikeout of the game here in the bottom of the 7th. Looks like it was on a foul tip. He got tagged for the strikeout there. And with 2 outs and a man on second, up comes Benji Valdez, who's got a ribby on the day thanks to that fielder's choice. 1-2 count. Can he do any better? He lines it into... Oh, more of a fly out than a line out. Looked like it was going to stay on the same trajectory, but it picked up some wind. And he flies out to center field. We're through 7 innings. Puerto Rico picks up another run. They've scored 4 in the 6th and 7th and are now up 5-3. Before we continue, let's take a... Oh, the other game is over. All right. Guess we'll find out when we get out of this one.
I got a little lost in the sauce.
Say that again, sorry?
Was there only one other game going on right
Yes.
now? I got a little lost in the sauce.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I was saying. It looks like the Welsh were the only people from the other parts of the world, non-Latin America, who were like, yeah, we'll come down early. It's fine. We'll have an early game. You know, we want to get that game in. Because the other game is Cuba versus the Soberanos, the Latin American regional team. Tomorrow, everybody else is playing. There's like 7 or 8 games.
I see. Okay, interesting.
So these are the only 2 games. So we have to imagine that right now, the only teams that are in Puerto Rico ready to play are the Puerto Ricans, the Cubans, the Soberanos, and the Welsh. A real one of these things is not like the others situation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here comes Harry Jones, followed by Sebastian Milling and Scott Blackmore. They've got a chance to, since for whatever reason they are not pulling Isidoro Garcia no matter what he does. Boy, this is going to be interesting. Jones on a full count here. Oh, he got him on the checked swing. I do like this line from the play-by-play. Half a swing, but it's a whole strike. He gets called out.
Nice.
Strikeout number 6. And hey, we have our first pinch hitter. Now batting for Dreigiau Cymru. Number 7, Dean Lovell, normally the catcher for the Marcianos de Lajas, and the backup catcher here. Is that really the best guy you could have gone to? Are you
Rude to say to his face.
You have literal... Well, actually, hang on. Maybe there is a point here, because... No, I'm sorry, but no. Like, yes, he has a better contact rating, but... Okay, fair enough. He's kind of the average out of the other guys that they could be using. Lester Burton, more power, kind of the same discipline, but less contact skills. Tomas Ramirez, I would say, is a better player overall right now. Anyway, this is not nearly as cut and dried as I thought it was when I opened up the bench. Dear Lord, Maurice, what is happening to you?
Looks like an alien.
Who hurt you? He's the Ingeniero says, like, utility guy, I guess would be the term for him.
Mm-hmm.
Not really. He only plays certain positions, but he's definitely a dedicated backup. They traded for him, which is very interesting. You usually develop your utility guys in this decade, but that's what they did. Anyway, 1 out, base is empty. Dean Lovell coming in against Garcia. Hits that one. Nicely done. After all that, he pinch hits a single into center field. Wales has their 6th hit, and they might be in business here. Scott Blackmore coming up next. He's 0 for 2. Man on first and 1 out. On the 0-1 count, he hits that one to Martin at third. He throws to second. And it looks like they got him. Lopez can't make the throw to first, but that's still out number 2, the all-important one. And here comes Paul Slater, who's been a nightmare for the opposing batters this whole time. Now, did he win? No, he did not. I thought he won the defensive award for right field. But I must be confusing him with somebody else because he wasn't that good. I know he was a campeón this year, though. He was an all-star. So, with a man on first and 2 outs, he did go play. He did do that. As Isidoro Garcia picks up that ball. By the way, did you see what's on the right sleeve of the Puerto Rico uniforms?
No.
There is a... Oh, man, what's the English term? In Spanish, it's a garita. The outcropping on a fort. It's got a round top and bottom. It's a watch window or watchtower.
Parapet? No.
No, Bizanet or something like that?
Yeah, I can't remember right now.
It's something like that, yeah. If truth be told, I forgot that was there.
What is it in reference to?
San Juan. There's a famous Carita del Diablo, the Devils, one of those, on the Fort El Morro. It's often used as a metonym for San Juan and then for Puerto Rico as a whole from there.
Gotcha.
If you look at the 2023 World Baseball Classic Puerto Rico uniforms, they have one. On the, they sometimes even have it on the cap. There will be like waves and then one of those, a garita, above them. But I don't like overly patterned caps, so
I think I got that. I'm hearing like most of every sentence you say, but not the whole thing, so it's a little stressful. Okay.
Cedro Martin comes up next. He is 1 for 2. He will face, once again, Brandon Payne. 7 innings, 132 pitches, 8 hits, 5 home runs, 4 walks, 1 strikeout. Did this audio problem start with the game, or is it new?
It's been happening the whole game, but less so than it's been happening more recently. Like, it's gotten worse as it's gone on.
Okay. I'm going to try moving away from the mic to breathe in, number one, for all the Tazon Day fans in the room. But also under the theory that as we got more excited and the game got more interesting, I started moving close to the mic, and that may have caused the Discord noise suppression to kick in.
That might be it, yeah.
Because C. Siler says it sounds good through Twitch, so I think this is a Discord thing.
Okay.
Here comes Cedro Martin against Litterbug Payne. Martin lined out to left last time. Here, up the middle. He knocks it in. And he's got himself a leadoff single. Cedro Martin. Of course, a guy named Cedar is going to put the wood on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here comes Jesus Lucio. He's 0 for 2 on the day. Man on first and no outs. On the 2-1 count. Knocks it into... Oh! That is a line catch and a half. And by the way, Tomas Ramirez, number 89, is now at first base for the Dreigiau Cymru. This is the guy I was talking about earlier. Half Puerto Rican, half Welsh. 3-time Ilustrísimo, including in both leagues. So he's replacing... Yeah, I guess they just straight up switched out Sebastian Milling. Poor guy. Man on first and 1 out.
So they did switch somebody out.
They did, yeah. Surprising. I really didn't think Wales was going to blink first on this. Their lineup is so good.
Yeah.
Just Sebastian Milling's allowed to have a bad game now in a while, man. Don't be that mean. He's just a little guy.
Yeah.
Antenor Juarez has a chance at a 4-hit night in the first game of the Copa Mundial. He had that 2 RBI single, of course, last time. Here, that's a roller to short. Haddon's got it. Is he going to make that throw in time? He does by a couple of steps. Beautiful throw. And C. Siler informs us that the term is Bartizan for the Garita. The thing we were talking about?
Yes, of course. Yes, now I remember.
Bartizan. Yeah. That's... People don't know this, but that's actually Bart Simpson's full first name.
Bartizan. I'd buy it.
So, yeah, absolutely. Man on second with 2 outs for Vidal Santiago. There's that John Rowe post that's like, quote unquote, would be a beautiful name for a baby girl.
Yes.
Bartizan would be a beautiful name for a baby boy. Somebody remind us to post that after we're done here. Vidal Santiago comes up with a man on second and 2 outs. He's 1 for 3 on the day. 1-1 count. They still got a chance to make this worse. Oh, there goes Martin stealing third. And now officially, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. members of the starting lineup. Basically, if you've gotten a base hit in this game, and even if you haven't, because Lopez and Valdez haven't, if you've been on base in this game for the Borinqueños, you've stolen a base.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's really what they're good at. I mean, their speed, their leg work, this is what they love to do. They love to make life hell on opposing catchers. That's like their favorite thing in the world. Man on third, 2 outs, 2-1 count. Oof, Santiago fouls out to the catcher. Staff's got it. 8 innings through. The Borinqueños get nothing in that one, but they're holding a 5-3 lead. Isidoro Garcia takes back over to try and pitch his first complete game of the Copa Mundial. Still do not understand why they're not pulling him. You have a 2-run lead. You have a full bullpen. You have literally 5 guys, including a guy who's technically a starter but is willing to play out of the bullpen, whose job it is to close out games. Whatever.
Yep.
So, 139 pitches over 8 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, 4 walks, 6 strikeouts. Let's see what Isidoro Garcia does here so he can tell his brother they picked me and not you when he sits back down. He will face Ross Simpson, who is 1 for 3. He will face Morgan Staff, who is 1 for 3. He will face Andre Haddon, who's gotten a walk and stolen a base uniquely for the Wales lineup. And let's be honest, he'll probably face Anthony King as well. He's also, spoiler alert, 1 for 3. Ross Simpson, 1-0 count against him. Hits that hard, but oh! Lopez picks it up and makes a mistake. Hard to catch that one. Second error by the Borinqueños, and this could be trouble. That puts a man aboard with no outs for Morgan Staff, who is 1 for 3 on the day. Man on first and no outs. The tying run comes to the plate. This could be fun. 0-1 count. Staff hits that one hard. Hits that one deep, and then it catches the air and falls right over Jose Rodriguez's head. Boy, I got excited there. I'm turning into the Puerto Rican John Sterling. Every hard hit fly, I think, is going to be a home run. John Sterling is the Yankees announcer. Well, okay. I think he used to be. I don't know if he's still announcing. But his whole thing is every time a ball breaks the plane of the infield horizontally, he thinks it's gone.
Ah.
All right. Man on first with 1 out for Andre Haddon. Isidoro Garcia, 143 pitches. Haddon is next for Wales, and it says, and he's thinking long ball right here. Yes, that is why he hit it flat on the ground. There's so much long ball thinking there. I guess he was wondering what chicks dig.
Mm-hmm.
He gets his first hit of the night. A punch through on the left side gap. I gotta say, it's pretty well done, really. That's exactly what you should be doing. Hit it where they ain't. That puts 2 on with 1 out, and the go-ahead run will now come to the plate in the form of Anthony King. What did I tell you? Told you Anthony King would get it at bat in this inning.
He looks determined about it.
He sure does. Well, he is an insolent. That is his team name, so. He's 1 for 3 on the day. Hits it. Goes to short. Valdez has it. Throws to second. They go on to first. It's a game-ending double play. Puerto Rico wins the opening game 5-3. They win it so hard that both of the base runners disappear. Los Borinqueños open their Copa Mundial run with a hard-fought win. Did you notice, by the way, that none of them is high-fiving anyone else? They just walked by each other like they're dancing a pavane or something.
They're doing that East Coast nod where they barely acknowledge the other person.
Yeah. I was at a ball game once where one of my coworkers was there with her husband, whom I had not met officially. I knew what he looked like, but I'd seen him in pictures and whatnot, but I had not met him, right? So, oh, by the way, Seasiler says, whoosh, sucked out of their shoes and whisked away. Yeah, they lost so hard they ended up in Wales. They're going to have to sail back over for their other games. Anyway, so I had not met her husband officially, but As it turns out, we had gone to the bathroom at the same time. So I saw her, and I nodded to her in recognition, like, hey, how you doing? But, so I nod, and he looks at me, and he goes, oh, I thought you were nodding at me because we'd been in the bathroom earlier. So I thought you were just nodding at me like, hey, bathroom. I'm just like, is that a thing? Do people do that? Do people look at each other and go like, you were in the bathroom earlier? What?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Louisa from the bathroom. Do you remember?
Yeah. You remember me. I'm from the bathroom. All right, Puerto Rico, exciting win there for Los Borinqueños to open up their Copa Mundial run, and really a hard-fought game both ways. At least I would say so. What did you think?
Yeah, I think so. I wasn't ever sure who was going to come out winning. So yeah, they were well matched, I think.
I think so. Puerto Rico here kind of gave you, I you like to say that the Naves like put themselves up against the corner and then have to hit their way out of trouble.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think we very much saw that from the Puerto Rican lineup here.
Mm-hmm.
Juarez got his 3 hits, sure. Hernando Cabrera gets 2 hits. Hernando Cabrera, what a joy to still be watching this man play. Obviously, as a Reyes fan, he's a big deal for me. Cedro Martin gets his 2 hits, great guy. And Isidoro Garcia, I mean, pitching 145 grueling innings, during which at no point did he look like he was in command of the game. Every single one of these looked like he was in trouble. 2 wild pitches, a balk. He shouldn't get player of the game, I'm sorry to say. That is Antenor Juarez all the way. And I would also like to bring your attention to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stolen bases by the Borinqueño lineup in this game. That, I think, is what's going to win games for them. Their ability to make life a nightmare for opposing catchers is probably the most important gift that they have. Puerto Rican baseball prizes speed. It prizes base stealing. It prizes aggressive base running, and we saw the results of that today.
Sorry, we saw cut off for me.
And we saw the results of that today. We got to see how that gets you scoring opportunities that you would not have otherwise, I would say. Luckily for Dreigiau, they have 3 other teams they can beat up on. Actually, sorry, 2 other teams, because they would be the 3rd team.
Yes, that's true.
Let's leave the game and find out what the other game ended up being. And would you look at that? The Soberanos beat Cuba 2-1.
Wow.
Let's see here. Looks like it was a 3-hit night from Soberano center fielder Ikuhiko Ramajosa from Brazil as well. He plays for Valencia in the Venezuelan leagues. And yes, that is a Japanese first name you're seeing there, in case you were wondering.
No.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I was going to say, I know Japan and Peru have a close connection. Is that true of other places in South America? I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is a thing.
Ah, okay.
It was a connection between Brazil and Japan that may have started as far back as the late 19th century, but yeah, Japanese immigration to Brazil is a thing. In a previous iteration of the LMP, there was a Japanese-Brazilian catcher named Baltasar Yoshimura, which is the best name any ball player in any universe has ever had.
It's very good.
And by the way, it was Ramajosa who won this game by hitting a run-scoring triple against poor Ricardo Pinto, who, by the way, plays for Ham Underwood's old team, Las Tunas.
Oh, nice.
And I see my man Pablito did absolutely nothing to help the team in this one.
Aw,
very unfortunate. I'm so sorry, man. To be fair, I mean, well, no, Spike Stonehand drew a walk, so he actually did do something here. Woof. All right. Well, we will have more Copa Mundial games for you as we can get them. We're not sure how this is going to work. We're not sure if we're going to record them. We're not sure if we're going to stream them. We probably will record them if we're being honest. We can release those whenever we need to. But we are going to try to bring you as many of these as we possibly can. We're going to try to get you the standings. We're going to try to get you the playoffs. We're going to try to make everything happen. You can see here what everybody's up to. You can see here that Benji Valdez is currently considered the best base runner in the league right now, and that Ramajosa is just running away with the batting average. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
But other than that, let me ask you this.
Mhm.
Which of these other matchups, looking at these groups, right? Like right now, these teams are only going to play within their groups.
Wait, what am I supposed to be looking at here?
You should be seeing the standings. You should be seeing four groups: Alpha, Beta, Gamma, and Delta.
Yes.
Okay, right now, these teams are only playing within those groups. So Mexico is only playing Scotland, Haiti, and Oceania, for example.
Okay.
Which of these, what matchup, other than the one we just saw, other than Puerto Rico and Cuba, what other matchup would you want to see here?
I don't know. They all sound very interesting. I would love to see Ireland versus Canada. I feel like that would be a friendly rivalry. There's a lot of connection between those two countries.
Okay, we'll definitely pencil that in then, and we'll make sure to put that in. Cesar, before you, if you haven't gone already, before you go, any particular one you want to suggest that we make sure to capture? We'd love to. Honestly, like I say, we're gonna try to show you every uniform at some point or another, but the more data you give us, the more we can kind of say like, okay, we can play out this day and just kind of wait it out, see what happens. We kind of know who's gonna make the playoffs already, so that tells us, okay, maybe this team doesn't need to be shown off right now.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, I do think he's gone.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
Okay. Well, that's okay. He'll still have some time to write it in if by any chance he's still there or thinking about it. We'll try and get back to you with those games in between now and then. We're hoping to make the playoffs start happening next week. That's probably impracticable. We'll see where we are. But until then, this has been, as always, Isidro Montalvo Espinosa, broadcast coordinator or podcast coordinator, as the case may be, for
Uh-huh.
Liga Nacional Puertorriqueña en Vivo. Gracias en Dios to all of you. Buenas noches y Dios les bendiga.